All right, Revelation Wellness, friends and family. Today it's actually family. I get to hang out with extended family of Revelation Wellness. I am with Sara Taylor and her daughter, Aubree Taylor. Sara and Aubree, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us.
How you doing? Aubree, tell us a little bit on how you're feeling right now on the inside.
I'm a little nervous. I've never before.
Yeah, never done it before. Well, y'all, I know you hear Sara's voice. If you do RevWell TV, if you are an instructor, you have heard her voice, moved with her in love on many of the episodes of RevWell TV. So I always think of you, Sara, when I core brace. It's a cue that she uses often.
My signature cue, brace your
Yeah.
core. I think I say it 100 times per class.
Yes, you do. I love it. I love it. And then Aubree is your daughter. And Aubree, how old are you?
I'm 18.
No way. When did that happen?
Just a month ago.
You're like a legal adult now, Sara. Aubree, you're legal.
Yeah. Hard to believe.
How's that feel? Did anything change for you at 18? Like, does it feel grown up? Like you feel more anything?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, so you can go buy dry ice. You can buy a pet at the pet store now. You can, there's these weird things that I remember Jack printed out when he was 18 that you can now go do, and clearly register to vote and all those other things. And you can get into serious legal trouble. So stay out of trouble in Jesus' name.
She would never do that, Alisa.
True. Right. Probably. Right. Totally right. All right. So you guys, we asked Sara and Aubree to come on to the show today because Sara as Sara has the mom of Aubree, they've walked through a time of an eating disorder when Aubree had one. And if you've listened to the podcast, my daughter Sophia has shared her story. And I know a lot of you were blessed by that, and we wanted to bring on more stories. And this is happening inside the Revelation Wellness community. So nobody is exempt from this just because you're loving God and doing all things. So maybe let me start with you, Sara, of how that hit for you as a Revelation Wellness instructor, as someone who's like, gosh, what did I do? Or how did this get by on my watch? Would you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So definitely the enemy came at me for sure, calling me a fraud because I am teaching and preaching these things to others and helping others find freedom from the bondage that they're living in, the idols that they have. And when my daughter started struggling at the age of 14 with her own body image. And then I started seeing her restricting her calories and losing weight and being miserable and just obsessing and never feeling happy with who she was. I first of all thought, okay, I've got the tools to help her with this. I can help her. I can do this for her. But we prayed, we read the Bible, we did all the things. And Aubree was continuing to get worse and worse. And so, it was very hard for me to look at myself as like, how is my own daughter? Like, how can I help others when I can't even help my own daughter with this?
Yeah. Okay, let's go back. Aubree, can you share a little bit of the story of being 14 and maybe now that you're an adult now, you have some perspective on what that time was. Do you want to share a little bit of that story?
Yeah, so around 14 years of age, all my life, I always been kind of self-conscious and I had low self-esteem. And so when I turned 14, I think the trigger for me was downloading social media kind of and just seeing a lot of the toxic side of it. And it kind of brainwashed me and it almost drew me away from my relationship with God, and it just pulled me under. And then it just it just got worse over the next like 4 years, kind of just like my life was consumed with like diet, exercise, and like the way that I looked and the way that people like perceived me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So at what point did it become apparent where you could tell your parent or tell your mom, or at what point did it hit a really intense space?
I don't know. I never really kind of was open about it with my mom because I didn't even realize that I was struggling. I thought it was normal for me to try to go on a diet and try to stay like healthy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought it was like an eating disorder. I thought I was trying to take care of my health. So
Wow.
that's kind of why my mom never knew like the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, you did kind of know, but not, you didn't know it was like.
Yeah, I knew that Aubree was struggling, and I think I'm very involved in her life. So I feel like I just basically enabled her almost to, by making her eat just enough to stay healthy and not get too sick. So I was involved in the fact that I made sure that she was eating so that she didn't get too sick. So I felt like, okay, we're keeping her head above water. Like she's hanging in there. We'll keep working at this. You know
And
what I
that was during the time when you knew, okay, she's battling
Oh yes,
some obsessive.
I knew she was battling. We had many battles in the kitchen, at the grocery store. Aubree was very controlling of the meals that I made, the food that I bought. And as a parent, you love your kids, you want to protect them, you want them to be comfortable, you don't want them to struggle. So, a lot of the things I did now looking back, I think I was just trying to ease whatever she was going through. So I would be like, okay, well, we won't buy this anymore and let's make this instead. Or, things like that. Instead of really just looking at it head on for what it was, I was trying to pacify her. In fact, I even introduced her to running because I felt like it might help her eat more if she felt okay. Well,
Sara, I love
right?
you. I love you. Look at us. We're so you're doing the best you can, but
Yes.
hindsight's 2020, right?
Right. Yeah. So it was prolonged, I think, because I didn't let her spiral all the way down.
Yeah. Yeah. Aubree, what were some of your initial like moments that you knew that was dangerous, that you've crossed over from I'm I'm just aware, social media, I kind of want to take care of my health to I'm in a danger zone. Was there a moment?
Yeah, probably when I started running, like when I was really deep in going for super long runs or trying to like run faster. One time at cross country practice, I had like passed out on the side of the road, and that's when I knew that something was not right. So, because I know that's not normal to pass out like when you're in the
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. What did you do? Did you tell someone? Did you
Yeah,
somebody like
I told my coach, and then my mom came and picked me up, and she kind of had like a talk with me. She was like, "If we don't get this under control, like I'm gonna take you to the doctor."
yeah.
And so that kind of helped me a little bit. I think that I got like a little bit better from there, but I still wasn't anywhere near healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then at what point did the treatment enter? Like, at what point did it have to go? This is beyond mom making my meals and controlling, and helping me the best she can. Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah. So I think was it 2 summers ago or last?
It was last spring, so
Yeah.
2022.
Mm-hmm.
Like a doctor's appointment at the whole eating disorder facility, just like for a checkup, kind of to see like where I am and how I'm doing. But like when I showed up there, they did a ton of like tests on me, and they told me like, you're really sick and we're going to put you inpatient. And so like, that was really eye-opening for me because I was like, well, I didn't think I was that sick. I thought I
Yeah.
could go back home and like maybe like take care of myself, try to fix my health. But no, I couldn't do it at home and no one could
Yeah.
except, but I had to be like forced into it. So
Yeah.
I went inpatient because they like, I didn't have a choice. And they taught me a lot of things there.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that moment. Were you scared when it was, I have to leave my family now and I have to just entrust myself into people and this care of this facility? Give us a little bit of that.
It was really shocking and eye-opening to me. And because I'm like a homebody and I'm not social at all. Like that's very uncomfortable for me. So it was really weird though, because when they told me that I was like, I need to go inpatient, I was like, I felt like peace and relief. Like
Mm-hmm.
God was like in that room with me and he was like telling me that this is the right thing for you to do.
Yeah.
And this is good for you. So
Wow.
I put all my trust and faith in God and I'm really glad I did because
Praise God.
yeah.
That was a huge answer to prayer because initially I thought there's no way she's going to do this. She's going to resist it. She's not going to be able to handle it. But I saw the peace that surpasses all understanding come over Aubree. As soon as that doctor said, you are very sick and you need to come in right now into this hospital, like I thought she was going to just refuse, but she just changed right at that moment. And it was God giving her peace at that time. It was just a huge answer to prayer. Like she said, it felt like a weight had been lifted and that someone actually believed what was happening to her. Aubree thought that she was just going crazy, but this doctor actually realized,
Yeah.
you're sick. Like we know what's happening with you and
Yes.
you need help.
Wow. Isn't it true? Medicine is a mercy. Like at some point when it gets to this, you're in the danger zone for someone, even if they're telling you maybe what you don't want to hear, it's mercy standing in the room saying, you're sick, you're more sick than you think you are. Because aren't we so quick to deny how bad? We're not that bad. You know, like Aubree thinking, yeah, I'll just go home and I'll manage it. I'll eat more of this. I remember a little bit of that with Sophia as well. And it's exhausting. At some point, you just want to let someone else take care of you. Like just let someone else surrender, I guess, is really the big
That's
word
what
to
it was, surrender. And all of that stuff had been burdening Aubree and weighing her down. And it
Yes.
was just exhausting, not only physically, but mentally in every aspect. I think she was forced to just lay it down, lay all those idols down,
Yeah.
all that stuff that was consuming her.
Yeah.
And that was where I started just seeing God start doing a mighty work and healing in her and in me too. And I remember reaching to you, Alisa, and the Rev staff for prayer. And you said, Sara, this is an answer to prayer.
Yeah.
When your child goes through something difficult like this, we as parents, we want to protect them. We want them to be comfortable. But you reminded me, this is an answer to prayer, Sara, because Aubree now has a chance to develop her own faith and grow in her own faith and trust in.
Why is it? Let's just take a moment, all parents. Why does it cost the road of suffering for our children? It's the last thing we want. And whenever I think about that, it makes me think, oh, this must be how God felt when he gave his son, the suffering that he would take for the redemptive story. So he's acquainted with our hearts when we kind of lay our kids and go, I don't want it this way, but we want them to have a real faith, right? Do we want them to just go through the motions or have a real faith? And so, yeah, I knew, I'm like, this is going to come out good. I've known every story I've known. And just to be fair, she has grown up in a home where you guys have been saturating her in the atmosphere of heaven. Like there is nothing more powerful than praying parents or a praying person, a mom, a dad, praying just one prayer. Generation chains break. Any generational change can break, but it still doesn't make it any less painful. So how was it for you then, Sara, when you just taken her to the doctor and then the doctor says she's being admitted? Did you have the harder time?
Yes,
like yeah, that's right. I think I remember you're like, what?
Oh, I cried many tears, and thank God my husband is so supportive. I called him right away and he was like, this is what needs to be done. No brainer. He said, this is a no brainer. We need to admit her. So we missed out on our summer family vacation.
Yeah.
So she literally didn't even get to come home and pack her clothes. But we put her in, and I did not know the goal when you go into inpatient treatment is to refeed the patient, to bring her up to a healthier weight for her personal growth rate, what it was before she got sick, as quickly as possible. So that means very high amounts of calories. And I was like, there's no way she's going to do this. And then after a couple of days, they train the parents how to select the menu and basically feed her. And I'm checking off all these, cake and like butter and all the stuff that they want her to have.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's not going to do this, but she did it. She did it. She didn't shed a tear that I saw. She was.
Yeah. How was that though, Aubree? Let's go back to how was it? Because I remember Sophia sitting in front of a bagel, just crying her face off because it just was scary. So how was it for you when they bring you a piece of cake and they bring you these things that feel like the forbidden fruit?
Yeah, it was really hard at first. I think the first week I had a hard time. I did cry at some of our dinners we had together because I don't know, I feel like it was almost too extreme, and I know I needed to go on there to like get healthy fast, but I feel like it would have been better for me if I was at home and I could do it gradually, because it was a lot all at once.
Yeah, it's a big shock to the system. And my husband and I questioned, why do we have to do it so quickly? And the theory on that at this eating disorder clinic is all of the other symptoms that she was struggling with were caused from her body starving. Her brain was starving.
Yeah.
Her irritability, her depression, her just all of the mental struggles she was having. She never had started her period, and she was almost 17 years old. Just all of those, they said the sooner we get her close to her goal weight, a lot of those voices and all of that stuff she's
go away,
quiet down and go away. So, and
it was really hard though, because like the fact that I put on a lot of weight in so little time, like I just felt so uncomfortable. Like I felt like an inflated balloon, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it was really hard for me.
So what'd you do with that? What did they teach you, or anything for a person that feels that? Because we have people in this community that are the obsessors. They're afraid of food. They're still trying, like their body's not good enough. They don't like to feel their waistline too much. If my pants feel tight, it's this exaggeration of, oh my gosh, I'm huge, I'm a blowfish or whatever. What did they teach you, or what did you learn about that when you have those types of emotions?
They told us to like we had like no beers in the hospital, and they told us to just not focus on it and try to find other hobbies. Now that like our hobby of like our eating disorders, like pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I really tried to dive deeper into the word.
Wow, good job.
Like bring my Bible, because I had so much free time on my hands. So, and then I started like, what's it called? The one-to-one discipleship with my dad. He brought in like that, and it really helped me like take my mind off of my
Mm-hmm.
selfishness for my like how my body looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It is. It's such a mindset, a mind shift. I mean, yes, your body is feeling different things. You are putting weight on, so you're feeling different in your body, but it's what do I think about what I feel? That reworking and rewiring. So the fact that you could just focus on the Lord, what a grace. What a grace. Not just try to distract yourself, but put yourself into a place that will nourish you from the deepest part of who you are. So again, what a gift. Could you imagine, Aubree, what it must be like for a girl who doesn't have a faith? Like, can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah. That's like one of the things that I think about now is like if I never was like in a family that had a
Yeah.
deep faith or like I had never had a faith when I was younger, I
Yeah.
would be struggling. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't to recover because I would have been so deep in the world and I would have not turned to God and realized that this is wrong.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, what a grace.
Yeah,
What a
Aubree
grace.
said, if it wasn't for my relationship with God, I never would have sought recovery. I would still be fighting it today. And
Mm.
she said that when she was in the hospital, that was the closest that she ever felt to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's, because she got stripped of all her
That's
idols
right.
and she just got to be with God, be his child, and pray to him, what is it that you want for me? And this is hard. Yeah. I mean, gaining that weight in that short period of time, too,
Yeah.
it will go to your midsection because your
Yep.
body, it's like, gimme, gimme, let's protect the organs.
Yes, ma'am.
The body knows what it needs.
Smart.
And so that's what happens. And then it
Mhm.
takes a period of 6 months before it like evens itself out. So she had
Redistributes it. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So it was a rough road, but yeah,
Wow.
one
Wow.
day at a time.
So let's talk about it from family dynamics because we know people are listening here that are walking through this. It's all encompassing for some families. How was it for your family, and what was something that you guys did or didn't do as a family?
There was a lot of conflict in our family because of like how irritable and like isolated I had myself. Like I really damaged my relationship, especially with my siblings.
Mm.
Yeah, I just like wanted to be alone in my room all the time. And
Mhm.
like with my mom too, like fighting her on like meal ideas and like what she was gonna make for me. I just yeah, it was a lot.
It's, it's exhausting, isn't it, Aubree?
Yeah.
I remember just being like, this is exhausting, Sophia. And she'd get exhausted. And then it would just make her feel more anxious because she couldn't let her guard down. She had to keep the next, ready to fight for the next meal or whatever, or
Yeah.
abstaining from the next meal.
And it continued to change and develop into different fixations with Aubree. Like she had to have specific plates and bowls and different things, and she would bake, but she wouldn't eat it. So she would obsess over baking bread for the family, but she wouldn't. And then I remember at Christmas time, this was during when we were staying home because of COVID. So we're home for Christmas. She baked all these cookies out in the kitchen. And she was out there just like kind of going crazy and she was all tense. And I was like, come and sit down and take a break. You've been out in the kitchen all night. No, I got to finish this. So it was like just obsession over food.
Yeah.
If you're not going to eat it, like how, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of things that I learned afterwards that were just totally associated with the eating disorder. But I had no idea that that's why she was doing those things.
Sara, speak to a mom then who might be in your shoes or, yeah, kind of where you were right now, I don't know, is there a problem? I'm not sure. Just maybe there's tension in the family, there's a lot of fighting, whatever it might be. What would be something that you would say to yourself back then that you wish you knew and could encourage a woman with, or a husband?
Definitely just pay attention if your son or your daughter starts talking very negatively about their body. A lot of times you might not notice if they're losing weight because Aubree wore a lot of baggy clothes. So I didn't see it right away. But just pay attention to that and talk to them about it. Aubree developed even physical symptoms that I thought she was just being stubborn and she didn't want to eat, but she truly had physical gastrointestinal problems from starving herself. She had bloating and cramping and gastroparesis where you're it just slows everything down. And then I did take Aubree to the doctor regularly, but if the doctor's doesn't seem concerned and you as a mom know that your child is struggling, which is what happened to us, the doctor kind of at first didn't think that it was a huge deal. He said, oh, she needs to just gain a few more pounds and she'll probably start her period. But it kind of just continued to drag on. And then I switched. I went to a different physician and she said, you definitely need to seek some professional help. Wow. This is hurting your body, it could cause long-term lasting effects on your body. And thank the Lord that Aubree doesn't suffer any long-term effects from those 3 years. But I guess, just really talk to your kid. And if your heart knows that they're struggling, don't give up and just keep talking and find out what's going on with them.
Yeah, that's such a good word. It's funny, I'll interject here that you say the gastroparesis, the digestion, like that being obvious symptoms that you were having. That was the turning point for Sophia. How painful it was for her to take care of business. Like it was bad. Like one night I remember her just screaming, high pitch, screaming in pain. And it was during COVID for Sophia. It was all happening during COVID. So she did not go to treatment. The treatment was literally, she was brought out of school, no phone. So it was treatment. It was here in my house because COVID was kind of locked down in that way. Right. And she would just be screaming out and my heart would just be aching. Like, I don't know how to help her because she's just trying to go to the bathroom. Right. And that moment, and that we thought about, do we take her to the hospital? No, it's COVID. So we just kind of wrote it out at home. And that is something, it was kind of like as a drug addict would kind of be having their withdrawal symptoms. That was her withdrawal symptom because she was starting to try and eat food and it was just hard for her body to use it. And once she got to the other side, when her body started finally doing what it's God blessed created to do, she looked and said, I could never go through that again. Like that amount of pain, like it was actual physical pain for her that left the biggest mark of I can never go back to that again. And then all the other, work came for her mind and therapy and all the things. So yeah. What would you say, Sara, or I'm sorry, Aubree, for a girl who needs the help, but doesn't want to get it? What would you say?
I mean, that's the hardest question. And I've had my other friends ask me that too, because I have a lot of friends that also have struggled. And I just would say, go to who you can trust the most, because I don't think I ever told anyone. I just kept it all inside, but I was open with my mom about it because we're so close. So I guess just go to who you can trust about how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And that you want help.
Yeah. Amen. And Aubree, what has that time in your life taught you?
It's taught me that nothing in this world is like worth going through just to get others' approval
Yeah.
or I thought like going through that was gonna make me happy with myself and happy in this world, but nothing's gonna make you happy or content. Only like Jesus will. So I've just been seeking my relationship with him, and I know that that's the right path for me.
Yeah. Has your relationship with him been transformed since that time?
As yes, majorly. And he definitely used that to
Yeah.
strengthen my
Yeah.
relationship with him. So
So good. So then I turn my question to you, Sara, and say, was it worth it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because, like you said, that's our biggest prayer for our children is that they would know Jesus and have a relationship with him and that they would need him in their life
Yes.
as their savior. But if they don't go through any trials or struggles, they're not going to reach for him. And so it's scary to pray for that because you know what might happen. But before, like I was kind of like, no, let's just let they can have their faith without going through anything too crazy, right? But after seeing what can happen through this, like it's nothing that I could teach her
That's
or
right. It's
you know what I
painful.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. It's the hardest thing because you can't eat for them. You can't make choices for them. It's not, they're no longer, 0 to 5 where they kind of do what they are dependent upon you and trust your leadership. And as they grow, they're supposed to get independent, see the world, social media enters in, all these other things where they have to then start becoming their own person. It's just radically painful and radically beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
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 Aubree, what do you think about social media? Like, what do you say to the person? And at what age would you encourage someone to say, this is probably a good age if you're going to introduce social media?
yeah, I think social media can be like very toxic, but it can also be helpful at the same time. Like
Okay, tell us.
I definitely think I got social media at too young of an age. I was really naive and kind of like was a follower. I did what other people did or like showed me. So I guess I'd say I probably would have waited until now to get social media if I
And
could
no
go.
joke, right?
Um, it's been really helpful lately though because I have a lot of people that I follow that also went through the same thing as me, and they do posts that really help me stay on track and understand more about why I like thinking what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling. So
Yeah,
it's helpful. Yeah.
that's cool. That's great. So, yes, just so y'all know, she's 18. So she's saying this would be a good time to get social media. It's radically hard to say no because, as some parents say, it's social suicide for their kid to not have social media because that's where all their friends are. But at the same time, maybe we need different friends or different communities. I don't know. It's a rough time for anybody in this.
And that's a tricky one to navigate for sure. But yeah, like I don't know, looking back on it, like Dave and I have to ask ourselves, should we have allowed her to be on social media? She's a good kid. She always made
Yeah.
good decisions. She was always a great student. And so you want to give them some freedom to start going into the
Yeah.
real world where
Spread their wings. Yeah.
they are going to have to make decisions on things like that. You can't keep them in a bubble. So, but yeah, I would say probably maybe more open communication about that and guidance as to, okay, who are you following? How are they influencing you and why? Like, why, so, because yeah, that definitely fed into her insecurities already about her body, what it looked
Yeah.
like, what she wanted it to look like.
Yeah.
Definitely fueled that for sure.
Yeah. Aubree, what do you do now to guard your heart and protect your mind and like to kind of keep yourself focused on what is health and a good body?
Yeah. I guess just going back to what I learned in the hospital, and then definitely like some good Bible verses that I keep like really close. And then now I just like when I feel like I'm going out track again, I definitely go back and just praying to God, like to show me like the right way, what I should do next. You know, if I,
Also, being plugged in to a group of believers that are her age, which can be challenging at her age. She just graduated from high school, so you know it's some. She had a wonderful group of peers her age that she was plugged into at our church with the youth group. But now she's shifting and trying to find a group again that's with this next phase of her life. So, but that's so important to stay plugged in with other believers who are going to point you to Christ and not point you to the world. So that's what she's hoping to find right now. So a lot of her friends went away to college, and so, but there's places you just have to pray and search and pray.
The Lord knows. You pray and then put some feet out there. Like get out there and try. Put your foot in the water of different communities just to see.
Yeah,
He's so faithful.
Praying like every night about it. Like really, well, I find a group I can get plugged in with. And then my friend just reached out to me the other day and said, "Do you want to come to this like youth group thing with me?" And I'm like, "Wow, like
perfect. Come on." Yeah. He's faithful. We just have to be patient. He's faithful. It never seems to be fast enough. Always takes much longer than we want, but he's faithful. As you were talking, Aubree, I remember you were saying, you know, I keep a Bible verse nearby. Sara Taylor, I think of your Revwell TV where you talk about your Dagger verse.
That's an old one.
It's an old one, but the dagger, because the dagger is a short blade. You talked about this in the in your Revwell TV, and so it means that you have to have it. You'll use it to get someone who's close near you, not a sword that you have distant. So a dagger versus something you have to have near when someone is near that is oppressing you. Or do you want to say anything more about your dagger verse teaching?
Oh boy, that was one of my first Revwell TVs ever, which was probably 8 to 9 years ago, and I don't even know if that is still on Revwell.
It probably got taken out because it was in the gym.
Yes, but it's a grab your dagger. What is your dagger verse? So when the enemy comes at you, when the lies come at you, have that dagger verse so you can resist. Whatever that is, and it might be something different, whatever the situation is, or if you have a sin that you struggle with a lot, what is that verse, your go-to verse that's gonna fight that off?
I just love the thought. Again, the dagger is it's close. The proximity of the enemy is close. He's breathing down your neck, but you still have a short blade, but something that can do damage. Aubree, what's your dagger verse? Give us anyone you have.
Dagger verse is Matthew 6:25. Therefore, I say, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will put on, is not meant for the food in the body more than clothing.
That just brought tears to my eyes. That whole thing, everyone, right now, this conversation, just to bring you to that word made flesh through Aubree Taylor's story. It's beautiful. All right. Well, before you go, let's do the fun rapid fire questions. We're gonna aim them at Aubree because nobody needs more middle-aged people answering questions around here. So middle-aged women. Sara, or I keep saying Sara because I look at Aubree and your name, Sara, is right under Aubree. Okay. Aubree, favorite way to move your body now?
I like to weightlift.
Good job. That's actually tons of good research behind body image, positivity, women that strength train and use weights helps you to feel strong and forget skinny. Just feel strong.
Yeah, she kind of put running away for now. No more running. She's not feeling it yet, and that's okay.
Yeah. Same with Sophia. Can't get her to run. Could care less. But she likes yoga, stretching, Pilates. She's kind of more that length and strength kind of thing. So that's fun. Okay, favorite movie. That was your favorite way to move your body. Your favorite pair of leggings. What brand is it?
CRZ. I used to be a blue girl, but they're getting a little expensive. So I had to.
So it's the CRZ that you get on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I have word on the street that it's the same exact material as Lululemon.
Yeah. They have good quality and they're less than half price. So yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, good. There you go.
She's frugal, so I like that. Aubree's frugal.
Oh, sweet Aubree. Okay, then this final question for you, Aubree. Aubree, you are grown up. What do you see with your life, doing with your life?
Oh, yeah, I've been praying about it a lot because I don't know what God has called me in my life yet.
Okay.
Just been staying busy with work and things, and yeah, I don't know yet.
Okay, then let me ask you this question. If you could do anything, and don't worry about failure or fear, what would it be? And you have the skill set, like name it, go crazy. What would you do?
I don't know. I've never been asked this question before.
Oh my gosh, Sara, that's her homework. Let her work on that. Like,
yeah.
Would you be a singer? Sing in the opera? Would you go to the moon? Anything? What comes? It's got any quick answer that comes to the surface.
I'd probably travel a little bit.
Travel. Okay,
yeah.
I love that. That's a great. All right, Lord. So we bless that. Lord, we bless Aubree to find amazing community, more community than she would even know what to do with, Lord, and that she would travel and see your goodness and tell of your goodness to the nations in Jesus' name. Aubree, thank you for being here. And we love you. That was a really good time. So if you want to know more, y'all just go over to revelationwellness.org. We have more resources and all the things. And follow. Sara, are you even on social media? Okay. Sara Taylor, social media. We'll put that in the link.
I'm on Facebook, but yeah, not huge, but yeah.
She's on Facebook. Okay. Or you just see her back in RevWell TV. And I'll see you soon. You'll be coming for fall filming, yeah?
Yes, I can't wait to see you.
Awesome. All right. I know. Get to finally hug you again.
Yes.
You guys, thank you. Aubree, bless you. Thanks again. Peace.
Thank you. Love you, Alisa.
Thanks for watching, and remember, this video was brought to you by Revelation Wellness Instructor Training Program. Do you love Jesus and have a passion for fitness and wellness? Or maybe you're tired of the roller coaster of obsessing over and neglecting your body, and you know there has to be more to fitness. Let us equip you to lead others to health and wholeness rooted in Jesus Christ through our faith-based fitness instructor training program. Go to our website to learn more and listen to testimonies of people just like you who are bringing hope and healing to their communities as fitness teacher gospel preachers. Click the link in the description of this video and download a packet to get your journey to health and wholeness through Christ started today.